Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here. One more time. Well, the resurrection is done. The new life has begun. And every day we must talk about it. Every night we must dream about it, plan about it. And the next day we must act in regards to that we spent time focusing on. I was thinking, for some strange reason, watching the telly, they don't spend as much time talking about those things today that they were talking about a month ago, a week ago. And so they are throwing more stuff at us now. They're talking about the Bilderbergs. They're talking about the world organizations and the structures of secret societies and the roles that they might play in life all over the globe. Now, what they're actually doing is throwing something at you just to get you confused, just to get you talking and thinking and focusing on something else that they are dictating for you to think about. So you don't have a chance to think about those things that really deal with you every day. They tell you about organizations that assemble with your leaders and representatives that are assembled in a spot. They talk about places and things and plans, and you never know anything about it. You don't know who they're talking with. And in fact, many of them might be talking to something that they have said are devout enemies. And yet you know nothing of. They could be doing could be. Let's not play games. It isn't that thing had to do with no could be. These are men. And they're crooks. Because human beings are crooks. If they weren't crooks, they wouldn't be sitting anywhere trying to hide anything. They're crooks. Secret society, crooks. I'm sure they convinced themselves that they got good functions and purposes. And I'm sure they might even exercise some. But for the most part, their existence is to be a crook. Now, why do I say that? I'm saying that because the reality of it is this. We, over the years, have had hundreds of millions of people that have been killed in war. Some of them weren't even fighting. They just have been casualties of war. All of these people. Think about it. What would it have been if all of these people who lost their lives for doing nothing had put their lives up for doing something? Like making things right. You know, we always got these things about what we fight about. Somebody's mad about this. Somebody's mad about that. And I'm not going to take it anymore. So they're ready to get down, Buddy Brown. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, since we're always the one that's suffering, why don't we come up with something that nobody can excuse? Why don't we come up with a plan so nobody got to fight about anything? Why don't we come up with a plan that guarantees that each of us, beginning with ourselves and everyone else, are satisfied with living, satisfied with life? Why don't we come up with a plan that says one of the most essential things to get people satisfied in life is to have some responsibility, something to do, a career, a job? Why don't we assure to one another, guarantee to one another that each of us, hey, we're here. We're here in the middle of what? Our earth, with us. And we got to survive. And most of us have some common needs and wants and desires. For that survival is food, clothing, shelter, education, and health care, basically. Transportation, infrastructure, and anything that you can come up with, really. Computers, electric lights, cars, all that kind of stuff. Well, these are dreams. These are expressions of dreams that people have had. These dreams came from dreamland. Where is that? That's where the power, the invisible power exists. And those dreams were given to individuals. And those exercising of those dreams have been distributed out to others who have engaged themselves in the process. But what the concern is that if you're going to engage yourself in the process, let it be doing something that gives you your greatest joy. Your greatest joy, and that's your pay. Doing something that you know has value and everybody wants to appreciate it, need and love you and thank you for it. Can't do without it. Everybody got a job like that. And when you do that, what do you have? What do you create? Food, clothing, shelter, educate, all those things I just mentioned. That's what you did. And you did it in such an abundance because the resources come from a power that we can't limit. That power is by the invisible source. As long as the invisible source says it comes, it comes. We can't, nobody can say it's not going to come. You can think it. But as long as that power that controls it says it's coming, it's coming. And we do stuff with such an abundance that no one would have to suffer for a lack of anything. Our needs, our wants, and our desires are met. And because of that, we can live in peace, prosperity, freedom, and joy, happiness, and live our dreams. Live our dreams. No lying, no cheating, no stealing, no killing, no terror, no war, no hatred, no bigotry. None of that stuff. Hey, can you beat that? What organization? What secret society? Communicating, gathering someplace, talking about anything can come up with anything better than that. Oh, as good as that. Have we ever lived anything like that? Have you ever read about it? Have you ever known about it? I'm sure you haven't. But you could. While they're sitting up there in secret, you know what you want. You know what you need. You know what you never had. You know what you got to do. You got to do it yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you if you don't care to do it yourself. You got to stand up for yourself. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. And when you do that, when they come out of the little secret meeting, they'll know that we got a plan out here and we're working on it. And that plan is to assure that our system of operation is about peace. It's about joy. It's about living. It's not about dying. It's not about guns. It's not about money. It's about living. Good God Almighty. It looks like sometimes that's the hardest thing you can talk about, living. You see, people get comfortable with things that they know it keeps happening. And for someone to come along and talk about the things that I share with you, it's just as foreign as French is for those who've never heard it. And if they got some trust and satisfaction with things the way they are, I don't care how good they sound. They don't want to go for it. So you can't get mad with the people that don't want to go for it. If they can make it from week to week, paycheck to paycheck, or even have a nice life, you know, hey, I have no right to get mad at you for that. And people who don't have anything don't have a right to get mad at you with that, because you just throwed in your tips and you said, I'm going to ride this boat. And those who said, I'm not going to ride this boat, got to stand up and resist this boat, defeat this boat. Why? Because what you are doing, as far as they're concerned, is wrong. And the reason they know it's wrong is because the plan that they have would cover them and you. Your plan just cover you. Well, I think I'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go and see if I can listen to some more of that. Who knows, something else might come out. Bottom line, even though we deal with politics, even though in America we're talking about Republicans and Democrats, black and white, good and bad, and even all that kind of stuff, there's one thing that's worth living for and dying for, and that's love. That's God. That's expressing God through us by caring about one another, protecting one another. We say God will look after us, then that's what we are supposed to do, look after us. God lives in us, and we are to look after us. We're not looking for nothing miraculous to come down and do what we can do ourselves. We can protect one another. Like I said,